Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Text 22. Arjuna Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara त्वमेको दह्यमानानाम् अपवर्गोऽसि संसृतेः. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Arjuna said, O my Lord Krishna, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Purport. Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Sri Krishna as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Sri Krishna. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, after a long break, we are resuming our sessions. So, today we will be continuing to read about what actually happened after Ashwathama released his Brahmastra. So, in the previous session, we had discussed that Ashwathama he uh, he actually wanted to uh, show himself to be a very powerful person, and he also wanted to please the dying Duryodhana. Therefore, in the dead of night, Ashwathama went to the Pandava camp, and there he cut off the heads of the sleeping Upa Pandavas, the sons of Pandavas, and then he brought those heads to please the dying Duryodhana. But Duryodhana himself was highly displeased with this act of Ashwathama, realizing that those heads were not of the Pandavas, but those heads were of the sons of the Pandavas. So, after that, When Draupadi got to know that it is Ashwathama who has actually uh, caused this disaster, so that time Arjuna speaks like a Kshatriya in front of Draupadi because Draupadi was lamenting, she was crying, she was deeply hurt by seeing the death of her beloved sons. So Arjuna speaks like a Kshatriya and he says, I shall bring the head of Ashwathama and you can stand on that head and take a bath after we finish the final rites of our children. Saying like this, Krishna and Arjuna, both of them on the chariot, they proceed towards finding out where is Ashwathama, and then all of a sudden, Arjuna sees in the sky uh, a huge effulgence spreading in all directions. He sees a glaring light, and then he understands that his life is in danger. And as a devotee, whenever a devotee finds any danger, naturally he remembers the Lord. He seeks the protection of the Lord. So he began to address the Lord, who was there very next to him on the chariot. So he offers certain prayers to Lord Krishna. So we read the prayer just now. Arjuna Uvacha, Krishna Krishna Mahabaho. Now, Krishna Krishna, two times the name Krishna has been mentioned by Arjuna. That shows the desperate condition of Arjuna. Actually, when a devotee meets with difficulties or dangers, a devotee considers that as an opportunity to remember the Lord and to become exclusively dependent on the Lord. We see in the next chapter also when Kunti Maharani offers prayers to Krishna, we see the same mood. The Pandavas, why they are called such exalted devotees? Because the Pandavas show us by their personal example that even after they faced so many miseries and dangerous conditions in their life, they never gave up their faith and attachment to Krishna. They were, in fact, after every disaster, their attachment to Krishna simply increased. Why? Because whenever they met any disastrous condition in their life, they always remembered Krishna. They exclusively depended on Krishna, and Krishna protected them. So, therefore, the Pandavas are teaching us by their personal example. After becoming a devotee of the Lord, you may experience so many difficulties in life, but if you use those difficulties, difficult circumstances to remember Krishna, to become more strong in Krishna consciousness, then you can actually uh, purchase the Lord by your pure love and uh, surrender to the Lord. That is what the Pandavas are teaching us. So here Arjuna saw the effect of Brahmastra released by Ashwathama. That is, he saw a glaring light which is spreading in all the directions. And it was so fearful. And Arjuna understood that his own life is in danger. So that time, Arjuna did not boast about his own powers. He did not say, oh, I have my Gandiva bow. I have so many celestial weapons. I will counter this Brahmastra with my own weapons. No, Arjuna did. That was not the first thought that came to Arjuna. What is the first thought that came to him? He started praying to the Lord, who was seated next to him on the same chariot. So Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. Mahabahu means the mighty arm. Why is the Lord referred to as Mahabahu here? Because the Lord is very powerful and he is quite competent to protect his devotees. So Bahubala. Bahubala means the strength of one's arms. and it symbolizes one's ability to fight against dangers, one's ability to protect his dependents. So the Lord is addressed as Mahabahu. In the Bhagavad Gita also, you will find many references where Krishna addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, and Arjuna also addresses Krishna as Mahabahu. So both are Mahabahu, both are very powerful. But Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, his strength is unlimited. Arjuna's Arjuna definitely has a lot of strength, but Arjuna is a ordinary soul, Jivatma. Compared to his potency, his energy, Krishna's energy is unlimited, right? So therefore, Arjuna, he is teaching us that even though he is himself Mahabahu, but he is depending on the strength of Krishna for his own protection. So ultimate protection is awarded by the Lord alone, not by our own limited abilities. That is the meaning of Mahabahu. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha. Bhaktanam means of the devotees. Abhayankaraha, one who eradicates the fears of his devotees. Krishna is called Abhayankara, one who creates fearlessness for his devotees. Anybody who surrenders to Krishna, giving up one's pride, giving up one's false ego, one can be sure that Krishna will definitely protect such a surrendered soul. Now, Arjuna, as Srila Prabhupada mentions in this purport, Arjuna had a first hand experience of this on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There were many difficulties which Arjuna had to face on the battle of Kurukshetra. And even though he was very powerful, with his limited power, he could not actually counter those difficulties and save himself. It was only the the protection given by Lord Krishna that saved Arjuna from so many difficult circumstances and eventually awarded, uh, you know, victory to the Pandavas. This we have to understand very carefully. And Arjuna had the realization that Krishna is the only one who can create fearlessness for his devotees. Therefore, he is addressing Krishna as Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha. The nature of this material world is every moment there can be a difficult circumstance. At every step, there can be a difficulty awaiting us. That is the nature of this material world. Bhagavatam says, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam. Every step there may be a danger. There is a danger. That is the nature of this material world. So bhaya is a natural consequence of material existence. The moment we are in the material world, there will be n number of reasons which create fear in our heart. Now, the only way to come out of this fear once for all is to take exclusive shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. We have to completely have faith in the Lord's protection, understanding Krishna's actual position, and we have to take shelter of Him and render service to Him. Just like we sing the Vaishnava bhajan composed by the great Vaishnava poet and devotee Govinda Das Thakur. He says, Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bhajahure mana. Hey mana, O mind, Bhajahu, please serve, please remember, please serve. Whom should you remember? Bhajahu Re Mana Shri Nanda Nandana. Remember Krishna who appeared as the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is Nanda Nandana because he appeared as the son of Nanda Maharaj. So remember the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Nandana, Abhaya Charanara Vinda. Why should you remember, why should you serve the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Maharaj? Because his lotus feet can bestow Abhaya, It can bestow fearlessness. It can make us free from all kinds of fears. So that is the only way. By our own material arrangements, we cannot become fearless in this material world. The only way to become fearless is to be protected by Krishna. So on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna had seen many such incidents where, we had discussed one such incident of Jayadratha Vadha, how Jayadratha had actually caused the death of Abhimanyu, and Arjuna had taken a vow that the next day, if he is not going to kill Jayadratha, he will commit suicide by entering into fire. This was the vow that he took. But the basis of his vow was his faith on Lord Krishna and his protection. And we have heard how Krishna created a situation of illusion for this Jayadratha. Jayadratha thought that, sun had set. Krishna created such an illusion. And then easily Arjuna was able to kill Jayadratha and keep up his vow. So Krishna can do anything for the sake of protecting his devotees. He can defy the laws of nature for the sake of those who have exclusively taken shelter of his lotus feet. That means nothing is impossible for Krishna. Therefore, he is truly Mahabahu, he is truly mighty. Nothing is impossible for Krishna. When he was just 7 years old boy, and when Indra decided to inundate the whole Vrindavan, that time Krishna lifted up Govardhan hill on the little finger of his left hand for 7 days and nights continuously, amidst torrential rains sent by Indra. Krishna protected the Vrajavasis. Here also he defied the law of gravity. He showed that for the sake of protecting his devotees, Krishna can defy the laws of nature which he himself has created. He has created the laws of nature, therefore, he is always above the laws of nature. For the sake of his pure devotees, the Lord can defy these laws. So, the Lord's uh, uh, the Lord can be pleased only when one becomes a pure devotee. We should all become a pure devotee of Krishna. Pure devotee means what? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. This is the definition of uttama bhakti, that is pure devotional service. What is that? Anya abhilashita shunyam. One should not have any other desire apart from the desire of serving Krishna. This is called anya abhilashita shunyam. We have the ability to desire, but instead of desiring material enjoyment, if we can use our desiring ability to please Krishna, to render service to Krishna, and fill our heart only with such desires, then automatically all the material desires become zero. So, to become a pure devotee, you need not become desireless. All that you should do is simply purify your desires, spiritualize your desires, Krishnaize your desires. So I will desire only that which is pleasing Krishna. So if one makes up his mind in this way, then one becomes a pure devotee. And to protect such pure devotees, the Lord is ever ready. He can do anything to protect such devotees who have taken exclusive shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So Arjuna, he's here, such a devotee. He's a pure devotee. Therefore, he knows the power of Krishna, and he is praying to Krishna. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha. O Lord, you are the one who can instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. And you are Almighty, Mahabahu. There is no limit to your different energies. You are fully competent to make your devotees fearless. Therefore, next he says, Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samsrutehe. Tvam ekaha. Only you can bestow what? Uh, apavargaha. Apavarga means freedom from material existence. That is liberation. Freedom from repetition of birth and death. That is called apavarga. So everyone in this material world, we are dahyamananam. We are all burning in the blazing fire of this material existence. Hmm? But only Krishna can actually bestow liberation for his devotees. Apavargosi samsrutehe. Samsrutihi means the material miseries. So all of us are suffering in this material world with different kinds of miseries. And we are, even though we are going through miseries, we are so foolish that we desire material enjoyment. We think that one day I will solve all my material problems and I'll be very happily situated in this world. So this is foolishness. So we become busy throughout our life solving one problem after another problem. But if we are intelligent, we will think why to actually get into such a miserable state of existence? How can I get out of this miserable state of existence once for all? That is intelligence. Krishna ye bhaje se bada chatura. This is a Bengali proverb which Srila Prabhupada quotes many times. So Prabhupada says that anyone who has taken up Krishna consciousness, he is the most intelligent person. Why? Because simply by taking shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, a devotee can at once become fully free from the entire miseries of material existence once for all. Hmm? So that's the difference between worshipping devatas and becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. When you worship the devatas, no doubt the devatas can give us some material benedictions, but they cannot free us from this material existence. They cannot give us liberation because the devatas themselves are governed by the laws of material nature. Whereas when one takes exclusive shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna in pure Krishna consciousness, Krishna can bestow the highest benediction of making a devotee free from all material miseries. So, this is the benefit of, or this is the position of a Krishna conscious devotee. So, a devotee is always fearless because he has taken exclusive shelter of the Lord, knowing very well that the Lord is quite competent to give protection from all kinds of miseries. So Arjuna is teaching us that we must take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna in all situations. Now, Prabhupada writes in the purport that Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of the Lord Sri Krishna. This is very important. Understanding properly Krishna and his qualities becomes an impetus for a devotee to surrender unto him. Those who do not know Krishna's position, they can never actually completely invest their faith in Krishna and exclusively attach themselves to the service of the Lord. So, knowing Krishna properly, Tattvataha, is very important. As Krishna mentions in the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So Krishna says, if anybody understands factually the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities in this material world, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and they come back to me. Just by knowing Krishna Tattvataha, one can actually attain liberation. Because the result of knowing Krishna Tattvataha is that a devotee becomes fully attached to Krishna and engages in his loving service. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Krishna says in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, I am the source of everything that exists. Both material and spiritual worlds come from me. And anyone, the wise who know this perfectly about me, engage themselves uh, in my devotional service with all their heart. That means understanding Krishna Tattvataha is the first step towards becoming a devotee who has taken exclusive shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. And this mercy of the Lord is, uh, so Prabhupada writes in the purport, a devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Sri Krishna. So we sing the song every day, Guruvashtaka, the first stanza. Samsara dhavanala leedhaloka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru Shri Charanara. So the point is, this material existence itself is compared to the blazing forest fire. Dhavanala means the forest fire. And unless one uh, receives the mercy rain of Krishna through the medium of the spiritual master, one cannot uh, be saved from getting burnt in this dhavanala, in this blazing forest fire. So the spiritual master is the one who is the mercy representative of the Lord. Just like the clouds carry water, and when the water, when it rains, the forest fire can be put off. In the same way, our blazing condition of material existence uh, can be, solved only when we receive the mercy rain from the spiritual master. So that is the point. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self realized spiritual master. And how does the spiritual master show his mercy? How does he bring the mercy of Krishna to us? So Prabhupada writes, the spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject transcendental knowledge, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. So the spiritual master, by his enlightening words, by his Vani, which is empowered by the Lord, uh, he bestows transcendental knowledge to the heart of a suffering person, and thus the suffering person can find relief from the blazing fire of material existence. So the solution is one has to surrender to the spiritual master, who is the mercy representative of the Lord, if one wants to save himself from this blazing fire of material existence. That is what uh, Prabhupada mentions here in this purport. So Arjuna is offering prayers. Let us see what is the next prayer Arjuna offers. We should all understand the situation is very critical. The nuclear weapon Brahmastra has been released by Ashwatthama, and it is a question of life and death for Arjuna. Arjuna also has understood that his life is in danger now, and in that condition, Arjuna is offering these prayers. So you can understand the desperate situation of Arjuna in which he is offering these prayers. So let us see the next verse 23. Tvamadya purusha sakshadishvara prakrite paraha mayam yudasya chichakya kaivalye sthita atmani. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation, Arjuna continued, you are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Purport. The Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord can get release from the clutches of nescience. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya or material existence is just like darkness. Wherever there is the light of the sun, darkness or ignorance at once vanishes. The best means is to get out of the world of ignorance. The best means to get out of the world of ignorance is suggested here. The Lord is addressed herein as the original personality of Godhead. From him, all other personalities of Godhead expand. The all pervasive Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, is Lord Krishna's plenary portion or expansion. The Lord expands himself in innumerable forms of Godhead and living beings, although with his different along with his different energies. But Sri Krishna is the original primeval Lord from whom everything emanates. The all pervasive feature of the Lord experienced within the manifested world is also a partial representation of the Lord. Paramatma, therefore, is included within him. He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material manifestation because he is far above the material creation. Darkness is a perverse representation of the sun, and therefore the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. As the sun is full of light only, similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead, beyond the material existence, is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from the material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. He is Parama or the chief. Therefore, he is absolute. He has manifold energies, and through his diverse energies, he creates, manifests, maintains, and destroys the material world. In his own abode, however, everything is eternal and absolute. The world is not conducted by the energies or powerful agents by themselves, but by the potent, all powerful with all energies. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So Arjuna continues to offer prayers to Krishna. He says, Tvam Adya Purusha Sakshat. Tvam Adyaha. You are the original. Purushaha means the enjoying personality. So Purusha means the enjoyer. Prakriti is the enjoyed. So Lord Krishna is called Purusha. He is the supreme enjoyer. In fact, he is Parama Purusha, the supreme enjoyer. Now, what about all of us? All of us, we are also parts and parcels of Krishna. We are also enjoyers, but we are secondary enjoyers. So a devotee understands this. So a devotee, suppose he cooks some food, so he offers it first to Krishna. Krishna, you are the primary enjoyer. Please accept my offerings. And after Krishna has accepted the offerings, he has enjoyed the offerings prepared by his devotees, then the devotee accepts the remnants of the food offered to the Lord. And this is the meaning of Prakriti. This is the meaning of subordinate enjoyers. So Krishna is Parama Purusha. He is Purushottama, the best among the enjoyers, and we are all the secondary enjoyers. Sometimes in the Vedic scriptures, the living entities are also described as Purusha. The Lord is real Purusha. Then why are the living entities, the Jivas, described as Purusha? That is because all of us, we are trying to imitate the Supreme Purusha. Real Purusha is Krishna, but we are imitating Krishna's position. All of us in the material world, we have this one common trait that we want to become the enjoyers. Now, this is not our natural position. We are trying to imitate Krishna's position. Since we are not in our natural position, the result of that is miseries. Why we are facing miseries in this world? Because we are trying to imitate Krishna's position. We are thinking that I am the center of everything that exists. Whatever I see, I should enjoy. I am the Lord of all that I survey. This is the mood of all the living entities in the material world. But the Bhagavatam is telling us that we are not the Purusha, the Lord is the real Purusha, right? And the Lord is Mahapurusha, the greatest enjoyer. No one can enjoy like the Lord. He can enjoy unlimitedly. And we have to dedicate our life for the pleasure of the Lord. That is the actual purpose of the soul's existence. Why do I exist? I exist to participate in the supreme bliss program of Lord Krishna. The entire existence exists for his pleasure. He is the real enjoyer. And as Krishna has explained this in the fifth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Bhoktaram. I am the Bhokta. Bhokta means the enjoyer. So Krishna is the enjoyer. And a person who has understood that my life should be dedicated for the enjoyment of Krishna, such a person is called Mahapaurushika. Krishna is Mahapurusha, the supreme enjoyer, and a pure devotee who has dedicated himself to serve the Lord, he is called Mahapaurushika. This is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. And now, does it mean that okay, when I serve the Lord, only the Lord enjoys, and the devotee does not get any enjoyment? No, it is not like that. Prabhupada gives an example. The hand is part and parcel of the whole body. When you take food with your hand and supply the food to the stomach through the mouth, then the hand also gets its quota of energy and nourishment. Even though it appears initially that the hand is simply working like a servant of the stomach. Stomach is enjoying. So stomach is getting supplied with all food. No, hand is also part of the whole body. And once the food goes to the stomach, the food gets digested and the energy is distributed to every cell of the body. And the hand also gets nourishment and energy. In the same way, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We can get real enjoyment only when we cooperate with Krishna's plan, with Krishna's scheme of things. We have to cooperate. Instead of making independent plans for enjoyment, we should simply follow what is Krishna's plan and cooperate for his plan. This is very nicely demonstrated in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna initially said, I cannot fight. They are my relatives. How can I kill them? But when Arjuna heard that it is Krishna's plan that this battle of Kurukshetra was arranged, it is Krishna who wanted to destroy Adharma and the representatives of Adharma. And Krishna wanted Arjuna and the Pandavas to be an instrument for this great cause, an instrument in his hand, in Krishna's hand. Then Arjuna gave up his false ego of making independent plans. And he simply said, okay, Karishye Vachanam Tava. O Lord, I was in illusion all this while, but your words of wisdom have opened my eyes. Now I shall act according to your instructions. Everything is meant for your pleasure. Everything is under your control. So I will also work under your direction. So Arjuna got this realization. So this is actually the purpose of hearing Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of hearing Bhagavad Gita is to give up this false ego that I am the doer, to give up this false ego that I will plan my life, I will plan what I should do, what I should not do. That is actually a life driven by false ego. Real ego is I am a servant of Krishna. So, the purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita is to give up this independent plan making business and simply subscribe to the plan of Krishna. And that makes us completely fearless and it makes us completely blissful. That is what is the message of Bhagavad Gita is. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Purushaha. You are the supreme enjoyer. Purushaha Sakshat. You are directly the supreme personality, the supreme enjoyer. And you are Sakshat Ishvaraha. You are the original controller of what? Prakritehe, of material nature. And you are Prakritehe Paraha. You are transcendental to the laws of material nature. You are the controller of nature and you are above the laws of material nature. This is the right understanding about Krishna. So, Krishna has also told this in the ninth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 10. Maya Dhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. So Krishna says, under my superintendence, this Prakriti, material nature, is functioning. Prakriti is definitely wonderful. You see so much of variegatedness, so many varieties of living entities, so many varieties of phenomena in Prakriti, in material nature. But one should not think that this material nature is functioning independently. This material nature is working under the superintendence, under the supervision of Krishna. Therefore, he is Prakrite Paraha. He is above the laws of material nature. This is also very important realization. Krishna never comes under the influence of Prakriti. Krishna is always the Ishvara of Prakriti. Therefore, he is above the laws of material nature. So, when we are going through miseries in our life, we are under the laws of material nature, but we should know Krishna is capable of relieving me from these dangers created by material nature because Krishna is above the laws of material nature. That is his position, right? Why we should surrender to Krishna? Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. In the seventh chapter, Krishna says, this divine energy of mine, this Maya, is very difficult to surmount. It is very difficult to overcome. Uh, by your own power, you cannot overcome the influence of Maya, Krishna says, because it is my Maya, Mama Maya. It is Duratyaya. Duratya means insurmountable. You cannot come out of it. But Mamevaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. But if you surrender to me, I will give you relief from this Maya's uh, influence. Krishna says this. So that shows that how Maya is subordinate to Krishna. Maya is very powerful because Maya bewilders everybody in this material world. Even the great devatas become bewildered by the influence of Maya. So Maya is Duratyaya. It is very difficult to overcome, very powerful. But Krishna is even more powerful than Maya. Because Maya is only one of the energies of Krishna. But Krishna is Prakrute Paraha. He is above the laws of material nature. So why is Arjuna addressing Krishna here as Prakrute Paraha? Because he's saying, now you see, this Brahmastra which is released by Ashwathama is definitely very powerful, but oh Krishna, you are above even Brahmastra, which is just a manifestation of your Prakriti, your material nature. So you are capable of protecting me against this Brahmastra or any difficulty within this material world. So that is the mood. Then Arjuna says, Mayam Vyudasya Chit Shaktya Kaivalye Sthita Atmani. Mayam Vyudasya. Mayam Vyudasya. Krishna has thrown aside Maya. That means He has cast away Maya. That means he's not affected by Maya. That is the meaning. Chit Chaktya, by dint of his internal potency, Kaivalye Sthitaha Atmani. Krishna is situated in Kaivalya. Kaivalya means pure eternal knowledge and bliss. Krishna is not at all affected by anything that is happening within this material world. We are all affected. Oh, there is a recession. Oh, some MNCs are, you know, sending off so many employees to home, you know, or if there is a rise in petrol prices, the whole world is affected. If America uh, imposes certain sanctions on certain countries, so many countries are getting affected. Or for that matter, we had this COVID wave which affected the whole world. So many things keep affecting this world, but Krishna is not affected by any of these. This is a very important realization a devotee should have. Uh, Devotee is prakrite paraha. He is above the laws of material nature. He is always situated in his eternal position, full of knowledge and bliss. Mhm. So he is situated above this material influence. So only when we surrender to Krishna, it is possible for us to also become free from the influence of the happenings of this material world. Actually, we don't have to stay in this material world and experience all these miseries. We don't have to. But because we have many material desires to enjoy independent of Krishna, we are situated in this world. As long as we maintain desires to enjoy independent of Krishna, we shall be perpetually remaining in this material world and experiencing all these miseries. And that is why Krishna says this material world is dukkhalayam, it's a place of miseries. So he's saying, why you want to stay here? Why don't you come back to me, to the spiritual world, to your original home? This is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. You come back to me. And how to come back to Krishna? How to go back to Krishna? Only by taking up devotional service, by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord, by dedicating all our actions, our thoughts, our words in the service of the Lord, we can actually become a pure devotee eligible to enter the spiritual abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha. So, another thing that Prabhupada mentions in the purport is uh, darkness. Prabhupada says darkness is a perverse representation of the sun, and therefore the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. As the sun is full of light only, similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead beyond the material existence is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. So, Prabhupada is giving an example. Now, the sun, what is the meaning of darkness? Darkness is the absence of sunlight. That means the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. When there is no sun, it is called darkness. But when there is sun, there is no trace of darkness. In the same way, Krishna is the supreme light, and he is all bliss, all knowledge, and eternity. And wherever there is Krishna consciousness, in whosever heart there is the supreme light of Krishna consciousness, such a person is never affected by miseries or illusion. So he is always in bliss. A devotee of the Lord, for him, Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. For a pure devotee of the Lord, it is said, one who has taken complete shelter of the Lord, this entire existence is Purnam Sukhayate. He only perceives bliss everywhere because he is actually situated on a different dimension in contact with Krishna. Example for this is Prahlad Maharaj. So, externally, Prahlad Maharaj's body was given so many tortures by Hiranyakashipu, his own father. But Prahlada was never affected by all these external miseries because he had fixed his mind on Krishna. So he was always experiencing the highest ahlada. Ahlada means joy, bliss. Externally, yes, he was going through difficulties. To a materialistic person's eyes, oh, Prahlada is tortured by his own father. He's going through so many difficulties. That was visible. But Prahlada himself was not affected by all these miseries. He was because he was always situated on the spiritual platform of the always serving Krishna by chanting his holy names. Right? So this state of being unaffected by material existence can be achieved when we take up Krishna consciousness very, very seriously and sincerely practice Bhakti Yoga. We'll go to the next shloka. So Arjuna is continuing to offer prayers. Text 24. Sa eva jiva lokasya maya mohita chetasah vidhatse svena viryena shreyo dharmadi lakshanam. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Arjuna continued, and yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of liberation characterized by religion and so on for the ultimate good of the conditioned souls. Purport. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, descends on the manifested world without being influenced by the material modes of nature. He is eternally beyond the material manifestations. He descends out of his causeless mercy only to reclaim the fallen souls who are captivated by the illusory energy. They are attacked by the material energy and they want to enjoy her under false pretexts, although in essence the living entity is unable to enjoy. One is eternally the servitor of the Lord, and when he forgets this position, he thinks of enjoying the material world, but factually he is in illusion. The Lord descends to eradicate this false sense of enjoyment and thus reclaim conditioned souls back to Godhead. That is the all merciful nature of the Lord for the fallen souls. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So here you can just see Arjuna, you know, he's not asking the Lord directly, oh Lord, what is this glaring effulgence is coming? Something, my life is in threat. Please protect me, please save me. He's not just in one line, he's just not asking the Lord. But here he is elaborately describing, he's glorifying the Lord. That is the quality of a pure devotee. A pure devotee takes even difficult circumstances as an opportunity to glorify the Lord. Glorifying the Lord leads to coming out of false ego. Glorifying the Lord is the only person who is fit to be glorified. We also want others to glorify us, right? We sometimes say, oh, everyone should praise me. I have such wonderful qualities. We always seek others' glories, glorifying us. But that is simply because of illusion. We want to, when we forget the real object of glorification, Krishna, then we think we are so great and we seek personal glories. So Arjuna is teaching us that even under adverse circumstances, a pure devotee does not cease to glorify the Lord, and therefore we should also glorify the Lord always. So the Arjuna is saying here, Saeva Jiva Lokasya, Saeva, Saha means that absolute personality of Godhead, Krishna, the transcendence. Eva, certainly, Jivalokasya, of the conditioned living beings, Maya Mohita Chetasaha. This is a very beautiful expression. Maya Mohita Chetasaha. Chetasaha means our heart, our consciousness. Maya Mohita, captivated by the illusory energy, Maya. Right now, our Chetasaha is not Krishna Chetasaha. It is not, our consciousness is not Krishna consciousness. Our consciousness has become corrupt. Why? Because we are now captivated by Maya, by illusory energy. What is the meaning of the word Maya? Ma plus Ya. Ma means not. Ya means this. Maya means what you are thinking to be reality. That is not the reality. A wrong understanding of the reality, that is called Maya, illusion. If you are seeing a rope in darkness and mistaking it to be snake, that is called Maya. So right now we are under the influence of Maya. That means what? We don't know properly about ourselves. We are thinking that we are this body. This is Maya. Now, when we can't understand ourselves properly, then how can we understand others? How can we understand other realities in this world? How can we understand Krishna? It's not possible. So we are Maya Mohita Chetasaha. Our consciousness is currently captivated by Maya. So we are all trapped in this conditioned state of existence. Now, for our sake, Vidhatse, Vidhatse Svena Viryena. Vidhatse means the Lord performs, he executes Svena Viryena by his own influence. Shreyaha, for the ultimate good of all of us who are Maya Mohita Chetasaha. Shreyaha means ultimate good. Dharmadi Lakshanam. He, the Lord, executes the four principles of uh, perfection: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. He executes all these activities, these principles, for the ultimate good of all of us who are Maya Mohita Chetasaha. That is the meaning of this shloka. So Arjuna is telling, "Oh Krishna, you have nothing to do with this material world, but still you come to this material world. You are Prakrite Paraha. You are above the influence of the material nature, but still you come in this material world as an incarnation. Why? Because you come here to teach everybody about the ultimate perfection, how to attain ultimate perfection, how to become free from the influence of this Maya. You come here and you teach by your personal activities and by your instructions. This is your causeless mercy towards all these living entities in this material world. So, this is the important point here. The Lord is Aja, unborn, still he appears in this material world. Why? Prabhupada explains here. He manifests out of his causeless mercy only to reclaim the fallen souls who are captivated by the illusory energy. We are all captivated by illusory energy. And how do we know that we are under illusory energy? We have forgotten our eternal relationship with Krishna. We have forgotten that we are soul and we have an eternal relationship with the Supreme Soul. This is the influence of Maya. Just like in the absence of light, one may think, one may mistake a rope to be a snake. In the same way, in the absence of spiritual consciousness, under the influence of the darkness called as Maya, we are identifying ourselves with this body. And this is the beginning of our entrapment into Maya. So, out of mercy towards all of us who are entrapped by Maya, Krishna comes to this material world and he comes here to reclaim all of us back to the spiritual world. He comes here to perform so many leelas to attract our attention, to revive our spiritual memory. He speaks the Bhagavad Gita, and he is doing all this because he is very, very merciful. We have forgotten Krishna, but Krishna never forgets us. So he comes to this material world. Sometimes, the president of a country wants to see what is happening in the prison house. So he goes into the prison house and he checks what is happening. Like that, Krishna comes to this prison house of material existence, material world. Even though he has got nothing to do with this material existence, even though all of us in the material world are not at all desiring to serve Krishna, we are always desiring to enjoy independently, make our own plans. Still, Krishna is so merciful. He comes to this material world and he enacts various pastimes to attract our attention towards him. He performs so many leelas so that we become interested in him. Hmm? Krishna's leelas in this material world are like the advertisements of from Vaikuntha. You know, when you're watching some video on YouTube, in between some ads come, and those ads they are made very crisp, short ads, and first few seconds only it should actually create some interest to watch the ads. Then only you will watch the whole ad. And then when you repeatedly watch those ads, a desire will come in your mind. Oh, I should also purchase this product. Oh, such a celebrity is endorsing this product. Oh, that means it will be first quality, very good qualities. Let me also buy. So the desire comes, isn't it? In the same way, right now we have desire only for material enjoyment. We have totally forgotten Krishna. But Krishna comes to this material world. He performs his leelas in this material world, which are all very sweet to hear. And these leelas are nothing but advertisements that Krishna is doing uh, to attract us to the spiritual world, to take us back to the spiritual world. So, therefore, out of his causeless mercy, Krishna comes to reclaim us, and this shows his merciful nature. So, Arjuna is glorifying Krishna like this, and some more, two more prayers Arjuna offers, and then he asks Krishna, what is this effulgence? Where it has come from? Oh, Krishna, can you please explain? Like that, that Arjuna asks, and then Krishna replies. All this we will see in the next session. Anyone has any questions, anything to ask, or any comments? Okay, no questions. Thank you very much for your valuable time. We shall meet again in the next session. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.